So who here likes a good old-fashioned train wreck? I know that I do. I often watch a lot of these train wrecks happen over the internet, and 2018's been an amazing year for train wrecks. We've had suicide forests being invaded. We've had a bunch of interesting things happen just in this first half of 2015. Now, well, not even first half, it's not even a half yet, but I can't wait to see what happens towards the end of 2015. I bet you it's going to get even more intensive as time goes on, but 2015 has been the year of the lolcow, the year of the amazing internet train wrecks, I would say, and for me, I just love watching these things from the side and treating them more like individual case studies. If you want to know what gets me off a lot, it's this kind of shit. I don't know what it is, but it just gets me going, and I feel the same way for a lot of people. We all love watching a good old-fashioned train wreck. But I normally don't make a video on watching train wrecks. I usually will discuss it on a stream, and that's about it. I don't feel that a lot of these train wrecks are video-worthy. But for me, this one is video-worthy, because it's kind of one of the reasons why I do things on this channel, the way that I do things on this channel, and frankly, it's something that I grew up with on a personal level. And it's one of the ways that I've met some of the best friends of my life. So I figured I might as well make this video as a side viewer and sort of walk you through a little bit of the internet lolcowery together. Now, I'm going to sort of divide this video up into parts, okay, to little sections, just to keep it a little cohesive. So we'll start off with the primer. This video is about Channel Awesome, a nostalgia critic, just to start off with. Now, who is this individual? Well, I'll walk you through the history lesson real quick. YouTube wasn't the same as YouTube back in the day. When YouTube first started, specifically when I was around entering high school, just leaving middle school, YouTube was a place where the content that you could watch was severely limited. Very much so in the gaming sphere, too. Nowadays, when it comes to YouTube, you could find a channel for almost anything. Back in the day, gaming channels specifically, or any channel, was very limited in scope. For gaming, we only really had Angry Video Game Nerd, and there was like other channels. There was like Game Dudes or some shit like that. There was a lot of channels out there that were just niches. They were out, and they were just sort of starting. It was the fucking embryos of YouTube gaming as we know it. And AVGN was one of the most popular ones that we watch, and I enjoyed watching AVGN a lot, and to this day I still do enjoy watching the videos from time to time, more specifically the older ones, but that's not the focal point. Because of the AVGN and being so popular at the time, a lot of people spawned in with the angry review critic niche. And one of those people was Nostalgia Critic, an individual who did the same thing, but for movies. And he had great commentary, the videos were well made. It was a time where low-budget YouTube videos were the norm, and they were well accepted because that was all we had at the time, and where they were low budget and production value, they made up for with heart and soul, and I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed watching it so much that when I was in the high school era, back in the days where I didn't have a smartphone or anything like that, I was using a hacked PSP with an application called PSPTube, I believe, which literally displayed the screen 2/3 in black and white, and it was a time indeed. You watched the videos in less than 240p, but you did what you had to do to watch the content, right? And I laid in bed every night before I went to bed, put on a video or two, and fell asleep watching this channel, and I loved the reviews ever since. They were great videos. To this day, I'll still watch a couple when I'm editing a video here and there, just on the side, if I'm doing something intensive. My best friend Adrian, who you probably know as Amaru, me and him bonded initially. Our initial icebreaker was quoting the Nostalgia Critic, things like that, so you can see that it has a profound impact on me. And I guess without this channel and many others, I probably wouldn't have been making YouTube videos in the first place. It probably never would have piqued my interest or became an interesting hobby or something that I felt like I could ever do. So yeah, it holds a very personal, near and dear connection to me, and that's the reason I'm making this video. So if you want to know why, that's literally all it is. It's a very personal thing for me. Now, this video in particular is going to talk about very briefly some of the things that has been happening at this channel and sort of some of the childhood ruining moments that you're about to see, and basically a case study on exactly what not to fucking do when doing anything YouTube related. So Channel Awesome, which is what the Nostalgia Critic, basically it's the umbrella YouTube channel company that runs the Nostalgia Critic and many other YouTube series, if you will. Basically, these guys started hiring, initially, when the Nostalgia Critic was popular, almost every content creator under the sun. Because of Channel Awesome, there are many content creators out there that got their sort of start. If you watch Angry Joe, who, does video games and all that, he started off from this place and branched off once a deal with Blistered Suns and Channel Awesome fell through. He went out, did his own thing, became more popular than the rest of them, did his own stuff, became a content creator through that. You've had Spoonie1, who created some really awesome Ultima Final Fantasy videos, did his own thing, sort of branched off, and it's been a roller coaster in that segment. You've had individuals like CinemaStomp. You had a lot of people who are popular now, but they got their start through this Channel Awesome stuff. But beyond that, there are also really, really smaller tier content creators that sort of piggybacked off of the Nostalgia Critic's success. The whole thing about Channel Awesome is it is an aggregation site. So basically, a lot of these lower content creators latched onto the coattails of Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic, that's his real name, and curtailed, the views that they would get trickle down through the Nostalgia Critic videos. So that was basically the concept of Channel Awesome. And for the longest time, it was one of the ways to get noticed, and a lot of people wanted to get onto the site anyway, especially in the early days of YouTube, before monetization was given out to every single person out there. This is the way these people started to make their YouTube careers, and for whatever you think, it's what they had, and that was all they could really deal with. Now, Channel Awesome went through a lot of phases, a lot of rebrandings, a lot of scandals over the years, and nobody's really not privy to this kind of information. And there was an era where the Nostalgia Critic went on so long that Doug Walker had decided to retire the character and create a new series of his own haphazardly. This caused the site to nearly tank, and a lot of these people to basically go out without a job. Now, in my personal opinion, a lot of these people really were putting their eggs into one basket. They really shouldn't have even done this in the first place. If they wanted something stable, they should have done something themselves rather than piggyback off of another individual's success to get to a point where they would at least have some form of viewership to sustain themselves. That's my personal belief. But anyways, Channel Awesome is an aggregation site, and it's not even run by Doug Walker. It's run by an individual named Mike Michaud, who is a total clusterfuck of a CEO that we'll discuss in the third part of this, the allegations and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, the history of Channel Awesome is sort of presented that way. The idea of what Channel Awesome is, you now know. It's an aggregation site that hosts a Nostalgia Critic and many other web series, or should I say used to host many other web series. That fucking fell through. So, in the last week, basically, there's been a document that has come out called Channel Not So Awesome. Basically, the ex-co-contributors of the site, typically the lower tier, some of the upper tier, like, Obscurus Loop, all those kind of people, made a document that was like 67 fucking pages long. A document that has a table of contents, people, okay? A table of contents of all the fuckery that has happened to Channel Awesome. And if you thought the whole last end of 2017, the tail end, where all those sexual allegations were going out and all the clusterfucks in Hollywood, this makes that look like fucking nothing. This is something, whew, this is like a Bible of what not to fucking do if you're running a YouTube channel or any business in particular. Now, the allegations here go from petty to really fucking bad, and we're going to cover some of the petty shit initially. A lot of these people seem like they have a really big chip on their shoulder because Nostalgia Critic ended as IP, and frankly, that's the kind of stuff I don't really agree with. If you wanted popularity, you should have sought for it yourself. But I'm going to leave the petty shit where it's at. The petty shit isn't even what you want to focus. I personally believe 95% of this document is true because of the buttfuckery that is run by Mike Michaud and his Channel Awesome company. But a lot of the petty stuff I really don't even want to cover because it is just petty. I don't know if any of these allegations have any truth to them, but the pettiness is just pettiness in my opinion. Now, the real bad allegations come down to two main things that I'm really going to summarize for you. Number one is great misconduct of the company. These guys could not run a channel for shit. Let me tell you how bad things were mismanaged. Let me give you a couple examples. Number one, when they were filming these anniversary movies, which I never fucking watched. I don't know. Did any soul watch an anniversary movie from Channel Awesome in the audience? Raise your hands. I can't see any hands. I'm not fucking surprised. They made these 3 fucking hour-long movies, 4-hour-long movies, literally putting The Godfather to fucking shame. And they made these movies that were kind of cool at first, I guess, because there was like a family getting along. By the time the fourth movie, To Boldly Flee, came by, these guys were jerking off their own egos, or rather the nostalgia critic's ego, and it was just a giant clusterfuck. People started to hate each other. You could tell motherfuckers were lining up their Glocks to put each other down. But anyways, the movies were greatly mismanaged. You had people basically flying out, and while that shit was paid for, they eventually were subjected to fucking slave labor by actually filming crossover videos with one another, like co-contributors making videos together, sending them to Channel Awesome so they could upload and get views on their own, and the profitability from those videos. These motherfuckers were working on slave wage labor. Worse than that, motherfucker. Okay, these guys were getting nothing but giving. They signed absolutely no contracts, they used no fucking emails, they were only using Skype conversations, so mismanaged to the point they fired a contributor because you couldn't show up to a Skype call within 15 fucking minutes. God forbid, dude. While the other people, they could do whatever the fuck they pleased. You've had situations where on set motherfuckers were taped to walls or some shit for so long that they passed out. You've had people injured, and then when they were injured, they were told not to sign waivers that would give them any sort of protections for being injured. While my phone goes off, that is a true fucking statement. These guys literally preyed upon the stupidity of some of these contributors, and it worked for the longest time. There were other big allegations, such as sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct so bad that I'm going to leave it at the rumor stage. There were apparently some contributors on the website grooming young women to have sex or any of that kind of stuff, which is fucked up if you believe it or not, in any way, shape, or form. You've had contributors basically being asked if they swing with the way of the penis, and if dicks could be touched. Again, none of this shit is confirmed, but you have multiple situations where this kind of allegation crap can really just be the death send of anything. When you're running a business, okay, and I run my own media stuff, let me tell you, Mike Michaud, if there's any sexual allegations, you don't fucking say, wow, I should really talk to that individual again. If somebody's cupping balls, you fire them. It doesn't matter if you like them, you have a beer with them. If somebody's motherfucking straight up raping people at your company, okay, straight up making motherfuckers feel uncomfortable, you shouldn't keep them at your company. They should be fucking gone. It's the kind of shit that drives me insane. It's the stuff that you shouldn't fucking do. And I've slowly come to realize that at the end, a lot of these people, and I'm going to keep a lot of this stuff at allegation level. If you want a more in-depth video, I would highly recommend a live stream I made with Silent Rob. I'll leave you a link in the actual comment below when I put the Reddit stuff, so I'll pin that and you can check it out. You can actually see Quentin Reviews, Frederick Knudsen, and there's a lot of other channels out there, Gaming from Mars. Everyone covers this whole video topic, and they cover the allegations. I know Frederick Knudsen does it the best. He has like a 5-hour, the guy who does Down the Rabbit Hole has like a 5-hour live stream of reading every point out of this document. So if you have 5 hours to fucking kill, go to that stuff. But I'm going to leave the allegations where it adds, because this, again, it's allegations. I don't like to cover that shit until everything is set in stone, which it probably will be by next week. But I'm going to leave it out of it because it's a personal tale to me. Now, in response to these allegations, this document, Channel Awesome issued an apology where they said, "We're sorry you felt that way." Basically, I'll paraphrase it. That was one of the things, basically, how this apology went out through, which made it a non-apology. It made it a giant fuck you. We're sorry you felt that way. What? What's wrong with you guys? Just say sorry, you fucked up. That's all you needed to say. But again, I guess they couldn't. Anyways, up until now, the whole channel has been burning. There's a hashtag trending called change the channel. I think it should probably be fucking burn down the television set at this point, okay? Never use that again. It's been a cursed TV set. But I think that realistically, these motherfuckers can't come back. There's just so much shit that has come out at this point that it makes me not want to watch any videos from them, and I'm probably not going to. I've definitely boycotted them in my own form. But this is just my personal views on the matter itself. There's a lot of you can go read up online. I would highly recommend you read the actual document if you're genuinely interested about it, so you can sit in shock and awe as the stuff you're reading is as outlandish as they write it, and it's just off, ladies and gentlemen. It is a terribly shitty situation, and in my opinion, I think everyone here is to blame. I think the top brass, Mike Michaud, the Walker brothers, everything, they're the most to blame. They let this shit happen. I think the people who contributed to this, who were the top contributors at the time, people like Lupa, all those individuals, have a bit of blame themselves too. I think a lot of people were protected. I think a lot of things were denied at the time that it happened that should have been out when it had happened years ago. I think the worst I feel for are the people that are the bottom tier content creators, the ones that have nothing to show for after being on the site. They got used, abused, and have nothing for it. And I think those people deserve it. I think they deserve your support the most. So I'm not going to shout out motherfuckers or anything that I haven't watched, but reading this document, give them a fucking view or something, ladies and gentlemen. God bless. Give the motherfuckers something. But I think everyone here has to have a little bit of blame. I think everyone on Channel Awesome, most of the people, not all of them, I'm sure, Angry Joe, all those motherfuckers, Guru Larry, that have left, that have sort of stepped aside, have a bit of life experiences. See, the most important thing here, motherfuckers, is having life experiences. I have life experiences. So let me tell you something about this. I don't fuck up like this at all. This is not something you could fuck up. Any logical person would not devolve down this route. Most people on Channel Awesome, they're motherfuckers who banded as a family, made videos, got out of their parents' basement, did the stuff to start off with, and unfortunately, they didn't know how to handle it, and next thing you know, you have 10 years, 67 pages worth of fucking allegations. Ladies and gentlemen, I think most of the people, what makes this really sad is almost everyone at Channel Awesome lost the plot of what to do. At first, it seemed like there was a family that you were chasing after when it came to internet videos, and in an initial thing, it's cool, You have a family, you have a group of contributors, everyone likes to be in a group. But when you start chasing after the superficial shit, instead of chasing after what really matters, you have this. One of the big reasons I make videos, one of the things that I always say is, I always hope that I'm the same idiot that I started this channel off with, and that's my only goal, really, when it comes to my long-term shit, when it comes to my personality itself. I think when you lose the plot and you start to not focus on building yourself with your audience, a lot of these people developed egos. They distanced themselves from their audience. They became too full of themselves. I think when you lose connections with your audience, I think when you don't focus on building strands, friendships, relationships with the people around you, and you start focusing on the views, the money, the metrics, then you lose what's really at the heart of the soul, what's really actually worth it. You don't chase after the real reward, in my opinion. And as sappy and retarded as that sounds, it's what it is, ladies and gentlemen, and it's what my philosophy in life in general is. So this stuff hits me on a personal level, but at the same time, I'm glad I actually talked about it and discussed it, and frankly, it was a piece of my childhood that has kind of really been tarnished. So ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. This is me, Mudahar, and I am out.